Hello and welcome. What are we doing? Fuck. What's it called?
This is why.
Sorry, my brain. I literally.
Is this because we're?
What
doing
is our
it
podcast
after
called?
3 o'clock? You're never the only fucking one.
Oh, got it.
Jeez, never the only one that has brain fog.
Oh, it went completely.
Oh, it's nice to know that
It went completely.
Episode 7.
Do you know what happened?
What?
I went into Waterstones. I was walking past. I was early for an event. There was a Waterstone, so I was like, I'll go in and see if there's a copy of my book there.
Yeah.
Went in.
Yeah.
I could not remember the name of my book.
Yeah.
The book that I wrote.
Yeah.
I had to Google Cat Sims on Amazon to bring up my book so that I could remember. I was there for 5 minutes. I was like, it's going to come.
Oh, God.
It's going to come to me. And I was like, you know when you're like literally scratching around in the corners of your brain?
And the harder you think about it, the further away it goes from the front of your...
And the more crazy you feel.
Yeah.
Anyway, that just happened with that. So I know what our podcast is called now.
Do you want to try again?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Everybody knows you're never the only one. You're never the only one. Don't live inside your shame, 'cause everybody makes mistakes.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of You're Never the Only One. I am joined. It's such a pleasure to be joined by the treasure that is Emma today. Oh, babe, you've got something on your chin. No, not that one. It's the third one. The one 3 down. And I really do love what you've done with your hair.
Stop it.
How do you get it to come out of your nostrils like that? And your ears.
What? No, not yet.
Yeah.
The nostril I got,
Also, the outfit's strong today.
strong as in bold.
Looks a bit like you went to a rave in the 90s and then never came back.
It was scrape of the barrel a bit though, with the old.
I am. You're right.
I feel like it's like when Johnny starts to do a wedding speech and then gets the book of one-liners from wedding.
That's what I did actually. I did have a roast. I thought I'd best not do that. It was about somebody else as well. So I thought I might have got myself into a bit of trouble.
Johnny.
Yeah, it was about Johnny.
Brilliant.
I thought I don't want to piss
Save
Johnny
it
off.
for episode 10.
Yeah, I don't want to piss Johnny off any more. So I'll save that.
Okay. As well, talking about my chins, especially as I had that video of you on the tube when we went to that event. You got more chins than the Chinese phone book. It's ridiculous, honestly.
Surely you can't say that.
I definitely can.
Okay.
I checked with my Chinese cousin.
I did with your Chinese friend.
I went, no, my cousin, family. It's even stronger. I checked. I was, is this? Am I allowed to say this?
So are you Jewish Chinese?
Oh, and Indian. It's all there. It's a big melee, my family.
You don't actually have Indian in you, do you?
No, I have done.
I used to say that I didn't have a musical bone in my body.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway.
So good.
Continue.
Anyways, by the way, Russia called. They want their hair back. Ladies and gentlemen, very happy to be joined by the lovely Cat Sims today. Lovely to be here. By the way, that's not actually
looks really good today.
Factually true. I did a bit of digging on hair extension.
Yeah, I saw this.
Did you?
You're wrong, but that's fine.
It's
Continue.
not wrong. It's true.
In my case, you're wrong.
Okay. All right. Maybe. So get this. Majority of blonde hair extensions actually comes from Asia.
Interesting.
It's bleached. It's actually bleached Asian hair. And this is okay. If you've just eaten, you might not want to listen to this, but basically loads of it comes from hairballs that women in villages sell after, basically save it up over 3 years.
Like out their hairbrush.
At their hairbrush and
yeah.
the shower plug, kind of just when they're washing it and brushing it and combing it. And then there's a little peddler that comes around the villages and he's like, sell me your hair. And they sell the hair, 80p it is, I think, for 3 years worth of hair. Okay, so, slave labour goes into your hair as well, not forgetting that as well. And then it ends up in these special hair tangling kind of factories where they have...
Detangling, you mean?
Yeah, hair detangling factories where they basically untangle. They have workshops of dozens of women. They all
sweatshops.
They all sit on the floor. I mean, I'm trying to be kind here.
No, my hair. What you're saying is my hair is held together by the tears of poor people.
It really is.
Okay,
it
great.
really is. But may I just say, looks fucking great.
It does look good.
It
today,
looks really
doesn't it?
good.
It's full. I tell you what. In all reality, it is held together with dry shampoo and a good fucking wind. The whole thing is a shit show today. But good to know. I do want everybody. I just want to make it clear that my hair is ethically sourced.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you can buy ethically sourced.
Yes, of course
hair.
you can.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's not
so
all-
everybody else knows they're buying stuff that isn't ethically sourced. It's labelled as
I
ethically
mean, I
sourced.
think it's a little bit like shopping at Temu
I was about to say.
and then shopping at John Lewis.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
That's the difference. You can get the same variety of fake hair
Yeah,
as you can fashion. Do you
but
see what
pay
I'm
a
saying?
lot less for it.
But you are correct. If I was to commit a murder, the DNA evidence would point to a woman in Russia.
Technically, it wouldn't because the DNA is in the follicle. So, just saying. Jesus Christ.
Right.
But for lols. Yeah.
Right. Listen, before everybody can't cope with how funny you are today,
So it's not my fault.
it's
we're
another
filming.
evening recording. It's another evening recording, and somebody's put 50p in her, and we have to deal with happy, chatty Emma.
Oh, sorry.
Which, by the way, is the best Emma.
Thank you.
Welcome. Right, but we're shaking things up a bit now
Ooh.
because episode 1 just went out, and I know this is episode 7. It's all a bit confusing from my little brain box, but
Yeah.
essentially what episode 1 being out means is that people are starting to send in
Okay.
more stuff.
Yeah.
So rather than jump into what we're doing,
Yeah.
which, we can touch on if there's anything massively interesting, but the fact is we don't really want it to be a podcast where the two of us just bang on all the time.
No, and what a perfect time to switch things up than the
New
1st
Year's
of
Day.
January. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Listen, this is going to be the perfect episode for you if you are recovering. Very light-hearted, very chill,
Yeah.
very outrageous.
Let's hear it.
So I'm going to start off by sharing some of these things that have come back to us. So firstly, we've got the sex topic. Do you remember we talked about that in episode 2, I think?
You're never the only one who's not having as much sex as you think.
Yeah. Anonymous says, my husband and I have sex about once a week on a Saturday or Sunday morning. Unless we've got friends over or staying with other people. It's a lot of... I like this. It's like it's a structure.
Women love detail.
Yeah, we love the detail. I know my husband would like more sex, but I just don't have much of a libido until we're doing it. I get it. It's like going to the gym. You never really feel like doing it, but you're always glad when you did, right? Unless, she says, she reads erotica. Have you ever read erotica? It's brilliant. And I think it's
Like
we're
Mills and
talking this,
Boone, maybe is the most I've done.
which we step up from 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, okay. A step up from 50 Shades of Grey. That did it.
I mean, that kind of thing, but
that
yeah.
got me through breastfeeding. That's another
So
story.
much to
Go on.
unpack
Okay.
there. It helps having sex semi-scheduled, she says, as otherwise I'd never think to initiate it. I do sometimes worry. This is when it became very clear to me that she doesn't have any children yet.
Okay, so this is scheduled sex. So when she says they have it, it's
They
scheduled.
schedule it Saturday or Sunday morning.
Okay, got it.
It's
got
a
it,
weekend
got it.
thing.
Yeah.
This is when I knew she didn't have any children yet. She said, I do sometimes worry that we're having sex a lot less than others. She's doing it once a week.
Don't worry.
But I try, yeah, you can take that off your plate. But I try to remember that everyone's different. There's no normal. With that, she's correct. So we stick to Sexy Saturday or Sunday Fun Day.
Oh, I love the name.
Here's where we're going to have to burst our bubble a
Oh,
little bit.
shit, why?
I'm currently pregnant
Oh.
and do worry. I mean, I'm not laughing at you, darling. I'm really not. But you will understand why this... Okay. I'm currently pregnant and do worry my husband will feel neglected once the baby is born, as I doubt I'll have the energy and time for sex, at least not in the beginning. Anyway, I really recommend scheduling sex and reading erotica. I mean, the thing is, she's never going to read a book again,
Yeah.
erotica or not.
No.
Will my husband feel neglected? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to be having sex.
I thought she was going to say, I'm really worried that my baby's like going to get like prodded in the head by the penis. And Johnny actually bore that up once in a midwife appointment. And the way that she was like, darling, she went,
No.
You may be well endowed, but trust me, you're not that well endowed. But then he went, well, hold on a minute. How come she's sticking her fingers up? You're doing a sweep and telling me what a nice head of hair our baby's got. And I was like, that's a good point.
Well, or it just goes to reinforce her point further. That a midwife's fingers are longer than his
He's
penis.
got hey, listen, I slag him off a lot on here, but he got a big ding-a-ling.
Don't
Got
do
a
that
big
again.
ding-a-ling.
Don't do that again. Did you learn that from your sex channel day? Is that what you did on your sex channel?
It's much
You've got a
worse.
big ding. I went a bit Joanna Lumley then.
Can you stop saying, Mike? 'Cause if someone comes in on this episode, starts the new year, thinks I'll just start on the 1st of Jan. Oh, Emma used to work on a sex channel. I didn't.
No, but you did.
No, I worked at the same.
You were to-
It did not.
Come on.
Did not.
Tell us the
I
truth.
could have done, but I
But
didn't.
you did. You said sexy things.
Hey, no, I didn't.
No, you didn't say the sexy things, but you did like the intros.
We're going to do sexy things, though, on our OnlyFans.
Yeah, we are. Not us together.
No.
And not what we would consider sexy, but what some people consider sexy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much money we
How are you
can
getting on with setting up that OnlyFans account?
Yeah, I'm going to start that in the new year. So, yeah, I've done it.
Right. Anyway, love, sweetheart, I want to just tell you, I don't even think you'll care, to be honest. You'll be so tired. Once something has come out of that hole,
Yeah.
your enjoyment of things going in it is definitely lessened for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it's all right. You'll come back.
Limit your expectations a little bit there.
Yeah. I'd mentally prepare him for that, I would,
Yeah.
definitely.
And yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you schedule sex, Emma?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
We
not.
tried it. We did a similar thing. We did like weekend sex for a while.
Yeah.
Because the kids would get up on a Sunday and do big girl breakfast, so they'd like look after themselves. We'd leave it out. We'd leave the cereal out on the table with a note and the remote control so they could do it and they could sort themselves out for breakfast. And then we would have sex. And that worked really well for about a year.
Really?
Yeah, and then we just sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
think
not a morning person, you know that.
I know.
And I'm quite impulsive, so I don't know, it might take me in the middle of the day. Bit of afternoon.
Oh, I can't think of anything worse.
Yeah, well, Johnny works from home. So.
Oh, well, so does Jimmy. But if he interrupted me, oh, God, I can't bear it. We've had to have a chat about him interrupting me. It's an ADHD thing. I get a rage. A rage.
Oh, no, I get that. When you're hyper-focused.
It's not even hyper-focused. If I'm doing something and he suddenly decides that he just wants to have a conversation.
Yeah.
He's done it twice in the last 48 hours. And
Yeah.
he's come in and he said, can we have a chat about something? And I'm like, once I'm like in the middle of doing my makeup, getting ready to go out.
Yeah.
I always say no because I don't want to be a twat. But
Yeah.
also I'm thinking you should fucking know better than this.
When is the right time to ask to have a
It's
chat
like,
with
when
you
can we have a chat about something? I will go, let's sit down and do it then.
Oh, I see. When can we have a chat about
It's fine.
something rather
Or-
than can we have a chat
Or
about
can we do a
something?
chat now? No. And be all right with that.
Okay, that's quite good, actually. I'm going to take that
Yeah.
home.
We have business meetings. This is the thing that annoys me. We normally have a business meeting every morning
Yeah.
where we go through our day, figure out what's going on, what you've got and things, and then I'm free. And then he doesn't need to bother me.
You should make make coffee at the same time and have a little gossip by the
Yeah, we
coffee
do.
machine together.
We do.
I love that.
When the kids walk out, we bitch about them behind the back.
Have you got more?
Yeah, I've got more.
Oh, yay.
Remember when we discussed laziness? Episode 1, that was. Kelly got back to us with her voice note.
I love a voice note.
Hi, Kat and Emma. I'm just listening to your podcast, your first episode, so I'm not sure if I'm a bit too late to the party with this. But one of the most lazy things I've ever done is ordered a pizza because I was desperate for a can of Diet Coke. Yeah, that's pretty lazy. I'd do it again too.
Yeah, you would. That is.
Isn't that good?
I love that.
Yeah, she's a cracker. She's
That's
a
the kind
cracker.
of thing I'd do for a dessert.
Then I've done that with Deliveroo. Like all I want is a big tub of Ben and Jerry's, but I've gone, well, it's like when I used to drink. I used to just Deliveroo wine, but I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to just Deliveroo wine because then he'll think I'm an alcoholic. So I'll put in a packet of fags, some bread, some broccoli and cling film.
Always.
So it's an essentials.
Always with the broccoli.
Always with the broccoli.
Come home with broccoli and you're good.
Totally. Anyway, so I loved that. Thank you very much. And then Claire sent us her Christmas story.
Ooh.
She said she'd been with her boyfriend for a couple of years.
Yeah.
They were living together, but we were having issues. He worked security in a pub, and after his shifts, they'd sometimes have a lock-in, sometimes he wouldn't come back. It's not great.
Okay.
Not great. This Christmas, he was working Christmas Eve, and he didn't come home until the very early hours, so it was rough as toast when we went to meet his parents for dinner.
Oh, dear.
I'd only met them once or twice briefly. It's also a red flag. You've been together 2 years, you're living together, you've only met his parents once or twice. Maybe they live overseas. Anyway, it's a lot. You see how quickly my brain works? He went to the loo before we'd ordered any food and was away for ages.
Okay, he's either got the shits or he's getting on it.
It's not good.
Okay.
It was awkward as fuck. And I suddenly thought, what the fuck am I doing? So without a word, I got up,
Yeah.
left, went to my sister's house and never spoke to him again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. How good is that?
That's amazing.
I love her for
but
that.
hold on, does that mean she doesn't know what happened to him?
I don't think she gives a shit.
I do. Okay.
I love you so much.
Oh, thanks, babes.
I really
Oh,
missed you.
Thank
Yeah, there's more. Finally, this is a brilliant little story of Christmas shame.
Okay.
From Lindsay. She says, first of all, I kept this bit in. I could have edited it out, but I didn't want to. She said, so happy you're doing the podcast again. It's my commute listening sorted. Here's an embarrassing Christmas story for you.
Okay.
My husband bought me an adult Christmas present.
Fun.
The kind we'd open once everyone else was in bed, not the kind you put under the tree and open with everyone around.
Oh, that's-
First of all, my husband has never bought me that kind of
But
present.
I really like this.
I do too.
Can we bring this as a new tradition? I think this is a really good idea. Like a little something, especially after you've
Just
done all the
between
hard
you two.
work that's just between you two, but it's something naughty that you couldn't open in front of
Yes.
anyone else.
I think we should do that.
Not you and me. I mean, like with our other halves.
Yeah, of course, I meant that. Okay, so now the company that he uses, and I'm not mentioning them here because, sponsorship and all that was weird.
Okay.
I don't want to muddy the waters.
Okay.
He used it, prides itself on its discreet packaging.
Okay.
So discreet, in fact, that when the parcel was delivered and we weren't in, they gave it to our neighbour for safekeeping. Our lovely elderly neighbour didn't realise it wasn't for him, opened it and was appalled at the contents. When he realised it was for me, he brought it to our door. I'm not sure who was more embarrassed.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Here's your cock ring and anal beads.
Oh my God.
I love that though. I do. I think I love the idea of the adult.
I think I would have to seal that
present.
up. Yes, no, definitely. I really think it's a good idea. I love that. Thank you for
What
inspiring
would you do
us.
though? What would you do if you took a neighbour's parcel, opened it by accident, and it was something like, it'd have to be quite shocking to shock you, but like,
Yeah.
I don't
I
know,
think I would
a
definitely...
massive strap-on and a sex swing.
Do you know what I would do? I would reseal it up as best I could, really try and make it look like I'd kind of not opened it and then just been, oh, sorry, it must have got a bit damaged. There's no way that I would, tell them I'd open it. I would.
But when you're doing that
I'd
little
tell no
lie,
one apart from all
when
my
you're
friends.
doing that little lie that goes,
Yeah.
oh, it must have got damaged, your face is going to give it away. 100%. They are going to
am a
know for
shit
sure that you saw their massive sex swing. I wouldn't put it back together. I would just make sure I left it on their doorstep when nobody was in with a note
Yeah.
that said, don't think this is mine.
Opened in error.
Yeah. Return to you. Right.
Oh dear, that was brilliant. Thank you.
What I
for
love
those.
about that is the feedback that we're getting in and the messages and the stories. There is, hang on, is there one more? Oh, there is one more.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I forgot about that. This one, this one was great. So basically, I've now made friends with a listener, because she called the WhatsApp number by accident.
Oh.
So I was in a meeting, couldn't take it, so I called it back. I called it back. I
Yeah.
didn't know the number. I was like, "Oh, hi, I'm Kat Sims. Just got a number from a missed call from you."
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, this is awkward. I was just listening to your podcast. I called the number instead of like."
You're so accessible.
Worryingly so. Anyway, I was like, "That's fine. How much?" She's like, "I love the podcast." I was like, "So nice to speak to somebody who's listened to it. How cool is it?" She's like, "I'm in North Yorkshire." I was like, "I'm from North Yorkshire."
Oh,
we had the
three
whole
blessings.
chat. And she said, anyway, listen, what I've done is I've now sent you a voice note about a story. Now, this isn't a story that has nothing to do with anything we've talked about, but it is brilliant. It's funny. It's hilarious. It's perfect for New Year's Day.
Safe space. Share away.
And it did remind me of a story that happened to me, which obviously I'm going to share afterwards. And then I'll shut up and let you get on with do some work.
I imagine this is what you mean by voice note, not ringing you like I just did. So, my year, not the only one, was I had a breast lump. I'd been referred to the breast team, obviously 2-week wait. Got the appointment and turned up. 6 months previously, I'd been referred for a foot appointment. Forgot all about that. And turned up for the breast appointment, sat down. Nurse said, right, if you just like to get ready, the consultant will be there. And the consultant walked in, and he was quite good looking.
They always
And
are.
I was sat there with my boobs out, covered by what was basically a Kleenex. And he looked at me with a look of shock and said, I'm looking at your feet. And I just wanted to die. I'd have gone, I'd have shot myself. So, obviously, nurse looked at me like I'd lost the plot completely. Consultant left swiftly. And I was sat there with a face like a beetroot.
Anyway, the good news is the breast was also fine. Lump
Okay.
was clear, no problem.
Oh.
But it did remind me of the time after I'd had my first baby.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm in some sort of emotional turmoil, spiritual turmoil.
Yeah.
It's 10 days after, actually, and I remember that because you get a midwife visit on day 10,
Oh, you
don't
do?
you?
Yeah.
So I remember we were expecting the midwife. We're in a house. I've just had a baby. The house is under construction. The whole thing, it was awful. My boobs are like sore and blocked, and the nipple, in
mate.
the
You were in the
blisters and
trenches. Yeah.
my stitches, everything. The whole thing was horrendous. Anyway, the doorbell rings, and Jimmy answers the door and sends her upstairs to me.
Yeah.
And she like comes in and I'm like, this woman comes in and I'm like, everything comes out. I'm like, my boobs are sore. Look, I was like showing her my boobs. I was like, look, it's nipple. I've got a blister. It's cut out. It's bleeding here. Look, blah, blah. And I was like, also, I'm not happy about my stitches. They don't seem to be getting any better. Can I show you my stitches? And the whole time she's like standing in the door.
Right.
And I was like, you can come in.
Yeah.
And she went, the thing is, I'm the plumber.
That didn't actually happen.
I swear. I swear on my life, my children's lives, your children's lives. I swear on my dog's lives.
Most people have maybe opened the door to the postman with the tit hanging out because they've forgotten because they're breastfeeding. But you
I
were
was
like
5 seconds away from literally showing her my labia. Honestly. And then, as if, because Jimmy liked to make it all about him, he wasn't worried about my mortification. He was like, oh my God, she must think I'm so sexist and misogynistic because she was a woman. So I just assumed she was a midwife and not the. I was like, I don't think that's the priority here. Like, I've just basically, and because she was standing in the doorway, I was literally with my breast. She's over here in the doorway. The bed's against this wall. I'm like trying to pull my boob so that she can see it. I don't understand what's going on. I was mortified.
Oh, it's
mortified.
best.
Just the thing is, I'm the plumber.
You've got so many good stories. I love it.
Trauma makes you funny.
I love it.
So there we go. That's the little feedback from this week. I mean, it's almost like we don't need to do our bit.
Oh my God, please keep sending these in. Kat, what's the information if they want to send them in? Because you're really good at stuff like
Do you know what the information is?
But let's not forget, we started this episode and you forgot the name of the podcast. So I don't know why I've handed that over to you.
All right, if you want to get in touch with us, either about something we've discussed, something you'd like us to discuss, or maybe you've just got a funny story that will, give us the giggles, you can email us at you'renevertheonlyone@gmail.com. That's YOURE. Or you can drop us a message or a voice note on 07457 402 704. Found it just in time.
Nailed it. Right, let's get into our weekly offerings where we chuck in our topical ingredients, stir the pot, and see what bubbles up. Why the fuck have you got my mug, bitch? Tank! Tank! Tank!
Tank! One job. Actually, that's not true. You've got a million jobs, to be fair. You've got a million jobs. Also, I'll tell you why this is particularly gross.
Why?
Because remember when I took them out the cupboard, they still had our lip gloss on from last week.
That's my fault. I put them away. I thought I can't be asked. I only have water in it. I'll wash it after this. Okay, so if you're expecting advice, I should just say probably not the podcast for you. Would that be a fair point?
I mean, you might find some advice tangled in the weeds,
like an Easter egg.
Yeah,
like the
but
Easter
generally,
eggs.
it's probably piss taking or comedy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're up for a little bit of like relatability, stick around.
Oh yes, definitely here for and honesty.
Yeah, honesty. Definitely.
But actual usable advice, probably not much of that.
Because that's what we're all about. We want to cover topics that we seek to normalise when we're at risk of thinking that we're alone in our experiences in them. And today, if the poll on my Instagram is correct, you are never the only one who suffers from time blindness.
This is right up my Strasse.
Is it?
Well, because I've got ADHD.
Aha. Okay,
I don't know if I've mentioned it.
Well, funnily enough, I mean, I do.
You've got an inkling of me talking about it at some point.
It turns out, okay, like I thought to myself, this was just a bit of a me thing, and I think a lot of people think it's a massive sign of disrespect. And then when somebody said to me, there's a thing called time blindness, I was so grateful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of labels. I'm not like you. There's not a lot of labels that I'll cling on to.
Labels.
But this one, I was like, yes, this could save my marriage, this label. Because some people are sticklers for time, and then there are some people like me, and 71% of my followers,
amazing,
who are so crap with time that friends and family will do things like lie about event details to adapt to your poor timekeeping. So I'm going to just name, because people might go, oh, this time blindness thing, what are the traits? Here are some traits. They include poor time estimation. So underestimating or overestimating how long a task will take. Frequently arriving late to appointments, meetings or social gatherings. Difficulty gauging how much time you have, leading to procrastination. Shit, yes. Missing deadlines, difficulty tracking deadlines and schedules, struggling to shift your focus to end one task to start another. Sound familiar, Kat? Feeling time is moving too
Feeling a little attacked here, I've got to be honest.
quickly. So firstly, let me say, and you've touched on this, through researching this topic, I have discovered this is commonly linked to inattentive ADHD, which is a kind of like subtype of one of the three, I think, subtypes of ADHD. I don't know much about ADHD. I'm a bit scared to look into it for obvious reasons.
Nothing like a good old self-diagnosis.
Don't. So it's basically one of the more internalized symptoms, like rather than the externalized ones, like obvious ADHD, like hyperactivity and stuff like this. So inattentive ADHD is quite common in women. Okay, specifically. So if I don't know, I found this description, and for me, it's so spot on. It really, when you're like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. Thank you for writing this down. Someone said, it's like you're treading water and the surface is calm, but you can feel these strong currents pulling at you. And to everyone watching, you're keeping your head above the water. It looks effortless. You are smashing life. But beneath the surface, your arms and legs are working frantically just to keep you afloat. And people don't see all the extra work that you have to put in to keep up with your peers, or the self-doubt that builds up from falling short of goals despite your best efforts. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's me.
But this is going back to, this is why I love the labels. Because it explains things. And then I get to explain it to other people. I don't need the label myself, but if I've got the label, I can go to Jimmy, for example.
Yeah.
But this is why, because I am this. So that's why I love a label, because it explains everything. You can file it under ADHD. So all that nonsense that's like, why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? That previously felt unrelated. Like, why am I always losing things? Why am I always late? Why do I get really anxious about certain things, and why can I never start until I'm literally at the deadline? I didn't know that any of those were connected until somebody went, well, you scored an 8 out of 9 on the ADHD test, like you are legit ADHD and this is why you do all those things. And then I was like, oh, then I felt much better about myself.
And did the meds make you better at doing those
I don't take
things?
meds anymore.
Really?
I don't know if you can tell. No, I didn't.
Why not?
Well, because when I first was diagnosed, I went straight onto meds.
Yeah.
And
were you a better person?
they definitely had some benefits. But what I wanted to do was kind of come off the meds and live knowingly with ADHD.
Yeah.
Without being medicated.
Right.
Because I'd never done that.
So it's more acceptance almost, which...
Yeah, it was just, honestly, it was acceptance. And also... I suffered quite a lot of ADHD burnout. So what was initially diagnosed as depression was actually ADHD burnout. So from masking everything. So I was always 3 days early for things because I had such time anxiety, because my actual natural default is to be late.
Yeah.
But because I was masking that and turning up early for everything, and I was spreadsheeting everything because I knew I was going to lose it, and I was fucking labeling everything and doing all of this to try and just get through the day.
Yeah.
I would then get to a point where I just completely crash.
Yeah.
And then they put me on antidepressants for 8 months. I'd come off. I'd be fine again until a couple of years later I'd crash again. And that was just how I lived this complete cycle of just. So I don't take meds anymore. I'm happy without meds. But it does mean that I have to make reasonable adjustments for myself. But my husband makes reasonable adjustments for me.
Okay, let me stop you there, because that's the thing for me. The biggest thing for me is how much this impacts on my relationship with Johnny. Like, it is the biggest bone of contention. I would say we argue about this, like big arguments,
Really?
more than anything else. And there's no allowance for it. And it's like, the thing is that Johnny, and as does his dad, and he said it, he went, I literally have an internal sat nav. The other day we were traveling somewhere. He knew exactly what time we were going to get there, but taking the time of the day. But it's like he just has this life sat nav. He just knows, and it's so.
So does Jimmy. Jimmy's like a wayfinder.
Yeah. And my internal clock is faulty. It's broken. I got it on Temu. It's shit. And I can't return it and I feel like a part of me feels like, do I go and get some diagnosis? But then the waters are so muddy because I feel like then I look into this ADHD thing and I'm like, but hold on, that's also a perimenopause symptom. So am I just perimenopause? And it's just so confusing.
No, because if you do an ADHD assessment, they ask you for like child. So you don't develop ADHD. You're born with ADHD.
Yes.
So they ask you for all your childhood. So they
Right.
go through your school reports. Your parents have
Yes.
to do answer things about your behaviour and things. So it's not. So if it wouldn't get confused with perimenopause,
Right.
Because it would.
But there does seem to be a lot of symptoms that kind of.
Oh yes, and I
Along
think
with-
ADHD women going through menopause.
Yes.
I can't decide.
Our
whether-
heroes.
Well, no, I actually can't decide whether it's easier for us because
Yeah.
we're just fucking used to the chaos,
Right.
or whether it intensifies. I'm not sure.
Interesting. I've actually have a side note here, little
A little segue.
little segue. I called the doctors this week and I've asked for an appointment to get my testosterone levels checked.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is giving me the shivers. I need to do that. I missed 3 appointments though.
Yeah, I've realised I've booked it on a day where I definitely can't
Go.
do it.
I do that all the time.
So annoying. I just want to know where my libido's gone. And also question, can you still can you have no libido but still want to use your vibe all the time?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
totes.
All right, fine. We'll come to that maybe in another episode.
That's like saying I'm not hungry, but I'll you don't want to cook the food,
Yeah.
but you'll eat it if it's a takeaway.
Yeah.
That's what that's like.
That-
Like
I
the
like
actual
that
sex
analogy.
is quite hard work. You've got to put a lot of effort and time into it.
Yeah.
Whereas a vibrator's like a takeaway.
End
It's
goal.
just like, there you go.
Done. Bing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, look, anyway, it is a magical gift that he has, this incredible internal clock that is running. It's like the Big Ben of clocks, internal clocks. And I'm thinking to myself here, my lack of it is just potentially something that could be the beginning of the end of something, if I don't change it. But I'm not alone in this situation. Here's some of the messages I got. Zoe messaged me and said, I have time blindness. My partner does not, and it drives him crazy. In fact, my time blindness is so bad that close family and friends will deliberately tell me to be somewhere an hour before.
That's what I did with you the other day.
You did. Was I on time?
No, you were an hour late, but that was perfect. You were like, I'll be there at 2. I was like, great.
It's a joke, but it's no joke.
Thinking 3 is also fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
4, cutting it a bit fine.
Now, this is somebody who's on the receiving end because I asked my followers, are you with someone who has time blindness and how does that affect your relationship? And I'm not sure how to pronounce this. So Wisby said, my husband, bloody hell, it does my head in. He actually sets his car clock 5 minutes fast. After almost 16 years now, I know to tell him a time 10 to 15 minutes before we leave, before we need to leave. So I'm wondering actually if there's there's extreme time blindness. So for people like maybe me and Zoe that need to have an hour before.
Yeah, to be honest, he doesn't sound like he's got time blind. He just sounds disorganized because anybody with time blindness,
Yeah,
I'm thinking, I've tried that, setting my clock 5 minutes fast.
yeah.
I just know I've set it fast. So
Me too.
I go, well, I set that 5 minutes fast, so I've got an extra 5 minutes,
Yeah.
which obviously in my mind is an extra 15 minutes.
Do you also convince yourself that you can do things that take 20 minutes, but actually take an hour? You think you can do them in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start painting the kitchen at 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
I'll decide.
I'd probably do that before the school run. That's the kind
Yeah,
of
that's
I
the
dye my
thing.
hair before the school.
Yes.
I mean, I've done that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's the thing.
Why am I stressing myself out?
I did it today. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do a new mental load list. I've got a book to write. I've got episodes of the podcast edit. I've got also
That's avoiding the big projects. That's the thing. That's a part of it. Jodie says, my husband does this. When we first got together, I thought he was a complete dick and didn't value my time. And I soon realised he's absolutely oblivious and has no concept of time. P.S. He was late to our first date.
Well,
I think people think that you don't value their time and you're rude. And it honestly, I swear to God, on behalf of all of my time blindness peeps out there, to those of you that don't have it, that is not the case.
No.
Your time is valuable. We love you. It's just we're shit.
Well, and also that
We're
it's not
broken.
even that we're
Why is Hank shaking his head?
but also the anxiety.
Oh,
Nobody asked your opinion. I'm joking. But also, I have to just stress the anxiety that comes with it is overwhelming. Like, I know I'm fucking up the time. I don't really know how, but I know I'm not doing it properly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll get
Yeah.
out the shower and I'll be like, do you go through that thing where you're constantly looking at the time?
Yes.
And then you forget to look
Siri,
at the
what
time.
time is it?
What time is
Alexa,
it? What time is it?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you forget. And then Siri almost goes, babe, it's now 3 hours later. You haven't asked me again. I'm a bit worried that you're running late. Like, that's, do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So I am the same. And I used to spend a lot of time making sure I was on time.
Yeah.
And it led to me literally burning out.
Right.
So now
Yeah.
I do my best.
Yes.
I'm very polite
Yeah.
about it. I apologize. People know but I'm not losing my mind anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not always late.
No, you're not. And for Tank, and that's our producer today, who disagrees with everything I've said and is
And
shaking
Johnny.
his head, and Johnny. Maybe it's a man thing. Who knows? There turns out there.
Whenever somebody gives me a fucking compass direction, I'm like, no. You do this in America a lot.
What?
If you're in America, they'll go, you need to turn east on like 9th Street. I'm
Yeah.
like, you fucking have lost me. Like, give me a left or a right.
Oh right. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Don't give me
that.
an east or a west
no.
or go north on.
Do you know what I do? I nod and go, thank you, yeah, and then immediately have no
I
idea.
mean, to be honest, verbal instructions.
I'm so
aren't going
busy
anywhere.
thinking how I'm being received as they're telling me the instructions. I haven't got time to.
Yeah, you're not even
memorise
going,
them.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
And then do you
yeah,
lie
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're worried when they go, you know where the Tesco is? You go, yeah.
Yeah.
You know where
Oh,
it is.
yeah, that one. Yeah, all the time. There
No
all the
idea
time.
where the
Always
Tesco
buying
is.
broccoli there.
Yeah. Do that all the time.
There, and it turns out there has been some personality profiling done, Tank, which reveals that there are 4 personality types that are always late. Which one of these are you? So there's the perfectionist. Perfectionist simply can't leave home until the dishwasher is packed and set and running. Furthermore, everything else has to be perfect, including their appearance and whatever they've had to prepare. The crisis maker. Crisis makers might not want to always be late, but the pressure and the adrenaline rush gives them a nice thrill that they keep chasing. They can't start on something until just before the deadline because they think they can't function well until they're fully hyped up. And these people actually prefer to be desperately rushing to get to their next appointment rather than to stroll in calmly into the building 5 to 10 minutes early.
Yeah, that is a little bit of me.
Okay, the defier. The defiers feel like they have to stand up against the broad authority of our existing societal constructs that tell us what to do and when to do it. An easy way to fight the man is being late. No.
Absolute, they're just twats.
Well, if you are a twat and you're listening, I'm okay with
Hang
that,
on,
and I'm not
no,
judging
I'm
you.
not all right with that. I judge that.
Okay, but yeah, well, safe.
Because I'm
remember
not
we call this a safe place and a safe space, and we
Safe
don't judge.
For me to express my opinion
Okay,
too.
cool. The dreamer, finally.
I'm getting a bit tanked on that one.
Dreamers live in a different reality. They're bizarrely confident that they can have a shower, pack all their luggage, take the elevator downstairs, wait in the queue at reception, check out the hotel, and get a taxi to the airport in a total of 10 minutes. They see travel times as really short and imagine it's perfectly reasonable to fit 5 jobs into a 5-minute window. What I have deduced from this, Kat, I don't know about you, is that I have a bigger problem here than my time blindness, which is I potentially have a multiple personality disorder because I fit pretty much most of those. Apart from the defier, all of those are me. That's every single one of those.
Yeah, I think the dreamer's more you.
The dreamer.
Yeah. I am definitely, listen, I'm an addict. When it says...
the adrenaline
rush gives them a nice thrill that they keep chasing. Like that hit me that to the core. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Under pressure. One thing I have learned from this, I would say that my friend said, the best advice I've ever given, she said, when you're late, which you are going to be.
I gave you this advice.
Did you give me this advice?
It was me.
I thought it was Helen.
No,
You're
it was me.
merging. Don't say sorry. What do you say, Kat?
Thank you for waiting.
Thank you for waiting.
No, thanks for your patience.
Thanks for your same thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for waiting patiently.
Thanks for waiting patiently while I got my shit together and got to be here.
I love you and I'm glad we're still friends. The end.
Well, listen, that was actually way more interesting than I thought it was going to be. You're joking.
Do you know what's
I
really
can't
funny
decide whether that's
that
a
I've
compliment
noticed?
or not.
You are the linguistic wizard to my kind of gremlin over here, and I feel like
That's not true.
I'm Dobby, and you are Harry Potter, and all I'm saying is, what tends to happen, right?
God. I'm sat cross-legged.
What happens is that I feel like, we have this podcast. I've joined you with your linguistic prowess. Pick these topics which are like, oh, who's got the funniest shaped willy, and who's who's got their tits out in public more, and then that would be the kind of thing that I'd be expecting. Is that I'm like, yes, let's talk about time blindness, and let's talk about
Listen.
the body positivity movement, and yet I don't have the language skills to deal with it. So I don't know
That's
what
not
I'm doing.
true.
Next week I'm gonna pick something
Also,
fun.
my fun topics.
Yeah.
My topic has only been fun because it's been like Christmas, New Year.
Oh, okay.
I'm going in seriously deep next week.
Ooh.
But this week,
Yeah.
we are going in on the embarrassing sex stories. Right, first of all, just give this a little context.
Yeah.
So I shared this last week, but just in case this is the episode you've landed on January 1st, all of that, here's a little recap. So I was reminded recently of a time when I was younger, probably about 19, in the throes of passion with a boy. It was actually not a boy. He was like 9 years older than me. I was 28.
How old were you?
19. It's legal,
Okay, cool.
just
checking.
and we were, bumping uglies, having a mucky cuddle. And I remember talking about details.
A mucky cuddle.
Mucky cuddle.
Fucking hell.
It's good, isn't it?
Duvet dancing.
Duvet dancing.
So
Never heard that.
No,
Making
I
the
mean,
beast
mucky
with two
cuddle.
backs.
I don't want to hear it again.
Oh, fizzy knickers. There we
Ugh.
go. And I remember, this is a weird detail, but I remember that Michael Bolton music video was on the TV.
Which one?
Don't know, can't remember.
There was wind blowing in his hair.
Yes, of
That's
course
all we
there
need
was.
to know.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
Because we used to have actual channels that just played music videos. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, those good old days.
Those were the days. And it was that. And obviously it wasn't like we'd chosen Michael Bolton as
Yeah.
the background
Yeah.
to our love music.
Was he on a beach?
He could have been, actually.
I don't know why it's all coming back to me.
It's all coming back
Right,
to
so
me
then go
now.
on.
Okay, it's not central to the story, the Michael Bolton thing, but
Okay,
anyway.
sorry.
So we were shagging and I suddenly got
Yeah.
cramp in my leg.
Yeah.
And when you're really tense, you're literally about to come.
Oh, yeah.
And my leg went into cramp. Now, it's really painful. So I was like, stop. I've got cramp. He flew off me like Spider-Man going into the back corner. Like this. He was terrified. He looked like, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong? He's like, what did you say? I was like, I've got cramp. He's like, oh, I thought you said you got crabs.
The best stories. I love it.
Literally, but that's it. That was only two. Anyway, so I didn't have crabs that time. Joking. Never had crabs. Just warts. It was
Stop, because that means you've still got them.
no.
That's
it
for
doesn't-
life.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. So I had
That's
HPV.
for life.
I had
For
HPV,
life. Yeah.
which is really common. 1 in 3 people have HPV.
Okay. What does
but
that stand for?
Human papilloma virus or something. I don't know.
Okay.
That's probably not right. Papilloma sounds a bit butterfly. I don't
It
think.
sounds like a cocktail.
I'll have a papilloma, please. On the rocks. I'll have a HPV on the
With
rocks.
Prosecco.
Yeah. Give me a hard drive. So that's an inside joke. It's not even a joke. It's just me taking the piss out of somebody. I'm sorry. I love you very much. Thank you for doing all the work that you do. Okay. So
Sorry, Tank.
sorry, Tank. Where was I?
Talking about
What?
Talking about your
Talk about what? Anyway, I had HPV.
Yeah.
I think I probably got it from the same guy who thought I had crabs.
No way.
Anyway, that was why I had abnormal smear tests for the first 10 years of me having smear tests.
Oh, wow.
Because that kind of mucks up the
pH
results. In
levels?
fact, it's why they don't now do smear tests until you're older. I think when I was younger, you started at 18. Now they don't start till you're 25 or something.
Oh, okay.
Because so many girls have HPV.
Wow.
That it messes all the things. But anyway, essentially, the virus, even though you do technically have it for life, it's herpes you definitely have for life.
Yeah.
But HPV, actually, I don't have any traces of the virus in me anymore.
Good to know.
It does sort of wear out.
I wasn't going anywhere near there
Also,
anyway,
all our
but
kids,
it's good
all our
to
kids
know.
now are vaccinated against HPV.
Oh.
That's the virus that all the teenagers get now.
Oh.
They get immunisation.
Oh. Did not know that.
Unless you're one of those people that doesn't
Oh, okay.
vaccinate your children, in which case probably not the podcast for you. Anyway, moving on. So, off the back of that, it's New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling a little bit fragile.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd open it up to the room because the Instagram room.
Yeah.
Because this is an area that I think is ripe
Yeah.
for stories that will bring us some tears of joy. So even with a banging headache, you're going to enjoy this. So huge apologies to everybody who I don't get to talk about. That's how many embarrassing sex stories that I've got. I asked, do you have any embarrassing sex stories?
Yeah.
Number 1, does vomiting while giving a blowjob count? Yes, darling, it does. For sure.
Oh, did you swallow it?
Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no.
Happy New Year. Let's
Okay,
go.
here we go. Had a one-night stand with a guy in a hotel. Found out he was married when his wife turned up and threw me out into the corridor naked.
Oh my God.
Horrific.
That reminds me of the time where Johnny did that.
What?
Yeah, and then like he was.
Hang on.
Yeah,
He threw somebody out that you were
no,
shagging?
he was shagging somebody.
Oh, he
And
didn't know
then
she was married.
Didn't know she was married. The next thing, the front door goes, and she's like, "Chit. You need to get under the bed." And so he was under the bed. He was under the bed, but it was really low bed.
Carry on movie.
Really low bed, and there was loads of like kind of paper bags, so he couldn't even breathe. Every time he breathed, there was a crackle. The husband came in, starts ironing.
They have sex.
No, they didn't.
Oh, God, can you
Starts
imagine?
ironing his shirt, and then he said the worst part was she then slipped a cup of tea under the bed to him.
Stop it. She did not.
She did. He had to like jump out the window, like scale a load of like the
How
houses.
old is he?
Oh, he would have been in like early 20s.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
I know.
Okay, number 3. I was with
Yes.
a guy who had a micro penis. I faked the orgasm he'd already pulled out. I didn't realise and continued faking it. Can you imagine?
I don't like to laugh at men's willies.
No, we're laughing at the situation.
Okay, all right.
It's not the size, it's what you do with it that counts. Oh, I'm attached to my microphone. Number 4, I sneeze when I get horny. My partner has made the connection, so having a cold is awkward. Yes. Please keep this anonymous, though, because I don't want my work colleagues to wonder every time I sneeze. Ooh.
It's mad.
No, this, okay.
Oh,
listen.
sorry, that's a real phenomenon, though.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
No.
Does anybody else sneeze? Does anybody else have weird bodily functions that happen when you get horny?
Yes.
That's niche, but I feel like we might get a few.
Oh my God, if we do, I'd be so excited.
Right, now
So
listen.
excited I might sneeze. Go on.
I'm going to say, if you are feeling particularly queasy, this one, the next few,
Yeah.
might not be for you.
Oh.
I went to sixth form with a girl. This sounds a bit like my friend. Of course you did, love. I went to sixth form with a girl who decided to try anal with her boyfriend. We don't judge. We've all been there. Well, maybe not all of us. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, his mum walked in on them, which resulted in obvious panic. He pulled out possibly a little too
Oh,
quickly.
God, no.
She shit the bed. She did. Shut the bed. Are you all right there? Is everybody okay? Because imagine, not only this was a boyfriend.
That's like 3-degree embarrassment. Like,
Yeah,
Mum.
you've shat in front of your potential mother-in-law
Oh my
and
God.
the boy that you fancy,
Oh my
and you've got caught taking out the shitter.
Oh my
There you go.
God. That's my favourite so far.
Oh, good. Right, I had a friend over at my boyfriend's flat.
Yeah.
The cat. I just realised that I copied and pasted this one without reading it. I'm so glad I did.
Oh.
I had a friend over at my boyfriend's flat. The cat came to say hello to her, and my friend noticed there was something hanging out of its bum. I grabbed the cat and went to pull it out and realised the cat had eaten a used condom and couldn't pass it properly.
Oh my God. I am so sorry if you are eating.
Can you imagine? All right. We can keep going. Do you want more? Mm-hmm. Okay. You sure?
Oh, yeah.
My hand. I love the way she phrased this. My hand, which was drunk, slipped off the end of my husband's willy and jizz went in my eyes. It got stuck in my contacts and I ended up in A&E. My husband told them it was champagne, but I think we all knew. Can Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Do you know some of the funniest stories I've heard are from doctors who tell the stories of people who come and say that one thing's happened when it's very obvious that another thing's happened. And I think it was a famous doctor who was talking about it, who then didn't become a doctor and went on to do something else, like in entertainment or something. He was talking about how there was a boy maybe 14, who'd got his mum's vibrator stuck up his bottom.
Oh my God.
But they couldn't turn it off.
Oh no.
So he sat in the waiting room like
with his chair moving across.
Imagine. So you're just waiting for it to run out of battery. Like it always runs out of battery when you don't want it to. But when you do want it to, it fucking keeps going.
Oh, I feel for that guy I've had come in my eye and it really stings.
This is the last one. And finally, my favourite one. She starts by saying, I can't believe I'm telling you this. There you go.
Love it already.
I came so hard I pooped the bed.
Put it together. Put it together. Thank you. What a one-liner. That was amazing. Oh, that's joyful. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Any name on that one? Oh, that was brilliant. That was beautiful.
Oh, my makeup's gone. I'm crying.
That was wonderful.
Oh, I tell you what, it's just what you needed today, wasn't it? Oh.
Yeah. Please stop that. There's no more. You can't top that.
No, that's listen. You got to end. You got to know when to end.
Yeah.
You can't go back to the well too many times. Yeah. To every single one of you that sent me those, you are my new favourite humans on the planet. But especially that last one. So what? I pooped the bed. It's the way she says it though. Pooped. It's like pooped the bed.
Oh, I bet she feels so much better for getting that out. I mean,
Stop it. Emma, stop it.
okay.
Did you do that on purpose? I like you with tanks, great. I think I'm going to be sick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
We're done. We're done. No, that's it. Right. Wow.
It's time for you to share the comms.
Oh, okay. Right. Sorry. Just hold on. Professional. I'm professional now. Just a reminder that this podcast is all about you. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Oh, I haven't laughed like this.
Oh, God. It's beautiful.
It's just joyful.
Just a reminder that this podcast is all about you and hearing your voices. So if you've got anything to say about this episode or about any upcoming topics, or even if you've just got a great story that you think will bring joy, hilarity and relatability to our listeners' lives, then either email us at you'renevertheonlyone@gmail.com. That's you are, as in you're never the only one. Or leave us a voice note on 0745740 2704.
Oh, God, we got there in the end. Okay, quickly, let's wrap this shit up because I can't continue anymore.
Yeah, what's happening next week, Kat?
So
We're fully into 2025.
we're fully into 2025. Seeing as it's January,
Yeah.
And seeing as I am today, as we record this, 3 years clean and sober. My birthday today. Okay, so next week,
Yeah.
we're getting serious.
Yeah.
For the first time, we need some seriousness after this chaos.
Are you about to say shit show?
I was about to say, stop it. I did it on purpose. Fucking hell. Right. Next week, I'm discussing drinking. You're never the only one who worries they might have a drinking problem. It's January. Everybody jumps onto the dry January ship. Not everybody stays on it. I'm interested to know if you're worried that you've got a drinking problem. Have you struggled with it? Do you think, you like, tell me everything. Anybody, or any kind of addiction, but let's stick to drink and drugs. Let's keep it fun.
Okay.
I can say that because I'm an addict. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's see, because I didn't know I had a drinking problem. I just thought I was a party girl.
Oh, yeah.
It turns out blackouts aren't normal.
No, and you're still a party girl even though you don't drink anymore.
I know. I'm just as fun. I'm
Yay
more
you.
fun.
Yay you.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, so a new study by experts from Stanford University argue that women are taking on the emotional needs of the men in their life, adding to their already significant, your favourite phrase, Kat, mental load. If this sounds, well, it did to me, sounds familiar to you, well, you may just be interested in my topic next week, which is, you're never the only one who's man-keeping.
Interesting. There's a book by, I think it's called Billy No Mate, but it's actually written by a man about discovering he didn't really have like a friendship group. Like it was almost like he came to get, I think it was something like he came to get married and he realised that there weren't, like he had people he drank with and he went and played golf, but no like actual mates. And so I think there's a lot of men find themselves in that and their emotional needs become the purview of their partners perhaps rather than their mates.
Beautifully put. Well done. Can I just, a little side note just to end on?
I've got mascara all down my face.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
It's
fine.
a good mascara, whatever it is. When I was looking up man-keeping, I suddenly saw that, it's like when the Google search comes up and you see a little kind of excerpt from whatever the post was. And all I saw, right, was this sentence. One of the best cures in my district for a burn is get a man keeper, lift him up carefully and lick his belly. Then lick the burn part. The pain will cease almost immediately and the burn will dry up. So obviously, I got a little bit distracted. I went to have a look and it turns out that a man keeper is also a substantially sized black lizardy looking newt thing. As you can
that's
see
why.
in Exhibit A. So there's a picture there.
Shall I show that to
You can see the
camera?
picture. Okay.
Can we see that, Tank?
So now let's go back to me, I thought, oh, this will explain it, but I think it's even weirder. So at some point, okay, this is in Ireland, okay, this is an Irish newt, and apparently this is a cure for a burn. It's a sure cure because this Irish man tried out himself, and one day he licked his belly.
His belly or a lizard's belly?
The lizard's belly. And the other day he said, I got a burn, the blister was rising, I licked it.
The burn or the belly?
And the burn. It raised no higher, it went away in a little welt. The man keeper must, very important this, the man keeper must be licked by the person who wants to be cured.
I think it's very important that we put a disclaimer on here that says this is not medical advice. We are not doctors.
But who
Or lizard lickers.
Which bright spark went, oh shit, burnt myself on that while I was making that fire. Hold on a second. Look at that
There's a man
nasty looking black lizard there. I'm going to lick that up. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to lick its belly. I'm going to lick the, I mean, who put those two things together?
The Irish. Sorry.
That would be a good time to finish then, wouldn't it?
Probably, yeah, that'd be a great time. All right, listen, thank you very much. Remember, get in touch at you're never the only one at gmail.com or WhatsApp us a voice note or message on 07457 402 704. All the info is also in the show notes. And if you're listening, please give us a 5-star review.
Are we on the beg?
Don't
Oh,
give
we
us
on the
a
beg?
4-star
We're on
or
the
a
beg.
3-star. You remember when your mum said, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all?
Yeah.
Just stick with a 5-star.
Yeah. I like the little comments too. Have you seen
I
it?
love
We've had
the
a
comments.
few.
Got the comments.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank God. Thank you to everybody who's been leaving lovely things on there. I love that. Love you.
Love you all.
You're our favourites.
Bye.
Things I say and do aren't always what I mean. I'm neither saint nor sinner, I'm somewhere in between. This world is complicated, everything moves so quick. judge me on my